Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley reveals the warden's punishment for pushing back. Reality star Todd Chrisley is finally revealing what the warden's punishment was for him pushing back. His daughter, Savannah Chrisley, already stated that there was payback when it came to her speaking up. So what happened with Todd when he was behind bars? Keep reading for more details. Todd Chrisley reveals warden's punishment. Although it seems that Todd Chrisley had a better experience behind bars than his wife, Julie, there was also a lot of pain. He looked incredible when he was pardoned and released, with many wondering what he had done the second he got home. Todd was fresh-faced and detailed the food he had in prison, which was the polar opposite of Julie Chrisley. She came out with dark hair and empty eyes, fans hoping she was getting therapy for the pain and suffering. With the family's new series, Back to Reality, currently airing on Lifetime, Todd is spilling a lot of tea. Todd just dished on what happened with the warden when he would fight and push back. There had been rumblings that Todd and his cellmates were frequently punished, but how so? He was asked if he and Julie could communicate at all when he was locked up, and he said no. Furthermore, he claimed it was his warden's doing, but she is no longer with the prison thanks to Savannah's help. Moreover, the prison is closing down due to abuse. So that is a win for the family. Todd Chrisley noted that Sherry, who was the warden, used her power to keep him and his wife apart. This was her way of getting back at Todd for exposing her wrongdoings and the truth that was being hidden. Interestingly enough, Julie Chrisley had a warden who would have allowed the couple to speak. However, his warden did not, and this lasted his whole sentence. Ultimately, Todd stated that he was trying to shut his camp down, which Julie was not. All of the hate was real. Many followers and fans are so excited to see Julie and Todd Chrisley reunite and how they are in the early days of being released. Yet others have noted that what happened between Todd and the warden all boiled down to hate. They believed that Todd was hated so much that he was punished for that sole reason, rather than him exposing the cruelty of the prison. Todd, you know why the prison would not approve you because the government, the staff at Pensacola, hated you? And what you stand for and UUV never changed. Regardless, Savannah Chrisley has shared that she and her father worked hard to change the ways in Pensacola. With that said, it caused major repercussions for Todd Chrisley, and now he is sharing the story. When Todd Chrisley first walked into federal prison camp Pensacola, he knew life was about to be drastically different from the flashy Atlanta mansions, perfectly coiffed hair, and designer suits he once wore proudly on Chrisley Knows Best. What he didn't know, however, was how quickly he would learn the unspoken rules of prison life, and what would happen when he decided to push back against authority. Now, months into his sentence, Todd has begun opening up in rare letters and carefully filtered phone calls with his family. Recently, he revealed details that left fans stunned. The warden doesn't take kindly to pushback, and the punishments for standing up, or even speaking out, can be subtle, harsh, and long-lasting. A clash of worlds. For years, Todd was known as a man who didn't bite his tongue. Whether it was scolding Chase for being reckless with money or reminding Julie that perfection was expected in the Chrisley household, Todd's sharp words were part of his charm, and sometimes his downfall. But in prison, that personality trait became a liability. According to Todd's account, his first real clash with the warden came when he questioned a new policy regarding meal distribution. Todd reportedly asked why inmates weren't given equal portions when food supplies were clearly available. To Todd, fairness was always black and white. To the warden, however, questioning the system was crossing a dangerous line. "I wasn't being rude," Todd allegedly told a confidant during a monitored call. "I just asked for clarity." But in here, asking questions is the same as challenging authority. The silent punishments. Unlike the glamorous feuds of reality TV, there was no yelling match or dramatic showdown. Instead, Todd explained that the punishments in prison come silently, almost invisibly, until you realize mysteriously shortened 1 week. The next, a commissary order he had placed didn't arrive. On another occasion, Todd was moved to a less comfortable work detail without explanation. He described it as being placed on ice by the warden, not physically, but emotionally and socially. When you push back, Todd revealed, you don't get thrown in solitary every time. Sometimes they just chip away at the little comforts you have until you get the message. And believe me, you get the message. Learning when to speak and when to stay silent. Todd has always prided himself on being the head of his household, the man with the final say. But in prison, that role is no longer his. In his latest revelations, he admitted that he's learning to play the long game. I pick my battles now, he said. The warden wants obedience, and if you try to remind him you had a life before this place, you're punished. But I've still got my voice. I'm just learning to use it differently. Todd described instances where he has bitten his tongue during unfair moments, only to release his frustrations later in carefully worded letters to Julie or Savannah. He calls this his new therapy, acknowledging that prison life has taught him the painful art of silence. The warden's presence. Todd painted a chilling picture of the warden himself, a man who commands respect without raising his voice. He doesn't need to yell, Todd said. He can walk past you without looking, and you already know you've either done something wrong or you're about to pay for it. He claimed that the warden has mastered the art of quiet intimidation, making inmates believe they are constantly one misstep away from consequences. For Todd, that presence lingers even when the warden is nowhere in sight. Family reaction. Back home, Savannah Chrisley has been the loudest voice in defense of her parents. She's spoken publicly about what she calls inhumane conditions and the way her father is treated behind bars. According to her, Todd's revelations are proof of the systemic problems in federal prisons. He's not perfect, Savannah admitted in a recent podcast, but he doesn't deserve to be treated like this for standing up for fairness. The warden punishes him for being the same man who made America laugh on our TV screens. Grayson and Chloe have also been affected. Todd confessed in one letter that the most painful punishment of all isn't the loss of commissary snacks or longer work hours. It's when the warden finds ways to restrict family calls. Taking away my children's voices, Todd wrote, is the cruelest punishment imaginable. A battle between pride and survival. Those who know Todd best say his greatest challenge isn't the hard mattress or tasteless meals. It's reconciling his pride with his need for survival. For decades, Todd built his life on control, image, and perfection. But prison has stripped those shields away, leaving him to face himself in raw form. He admitted to Julie during one call that every day feels like a battle between keeping his dignity and avoiding punishment. If I let go of my pride completely, I'm not Todd Chrisley anymore, he said. But if I push back too much, the warden reminds me he holds all the power. The lesson he wants to teach. Despite the hardships, Todd insists he's learning something valuable from the punishment system. He wants his children to understand that life isn't always about winning arguments or proving your point. I've lived my life believing the loudest voice gets heard, Todd explained. But in here, the loudest voice gets punished. What I've learned is that strength doesn't always come from speaking. It can come from endurance, patience, and surviving another day without losing yourself. Will Todd push back again? When asked whether he'll continue pushing back against the warden, Todd was candid. I won't stop being who I am. I can't. But I'll be smarter about it. If I see something that truly matters, something about dignity or safety, I'll speak up. But if it's about something small, like who gets the last roll at dinner, I'll let it go. Prison has taught me which hills are worth dying on.